Hello, guys. Welcome back to our very first podcast. I haven't been on the channel in a minute. I've been sick this entire week, which is why I've missed a few uploads. But today we are with Stephen Clark Bradley. He is an author and a retired politician, but he's getting back into politics. So today we'll be talking about politics. This will be a longer podcast. We're going to also talk about his books. He has written 6 novels and 1 autobiography. He is currently working on number 8 and 9. That's correct, right?
How are you?
What?
All good.
Yep.
Yeah. All good.
He is actually in the Philippines right now. He works out of China, too.
I'm an academic director of an international high school in China, and because of the novel coronavirus, I left and came to the Philippines, where my wife is from, and staying in our home here. I just had to escape. Many of my teachers are right now back in China, and they're not allowed to leave their apartment except once every 2 days. Only one person at a time can go out.
Yeah.
So it's basically the whole country is under house arrest. And just terrible situation.
Yeah.
China is showing its true face now. It's showing what it really is. It's a totalitarian state. I have seen real videos that have been leaked from China by Chinese people who are terrified to do it, but do it in any way, of Chinese police shooting the sick. They're giving lethal injections to the most ill, and they are the reasons this virus has sprung out all across the world.
Yeah.
And I left because I said I'm not going to live that way. And if you leave your apartment now and you go outside to buy food, they take your temperature when you come in. If you have what they think is a high temperature or you're a risk, they force you into confinement. So who wants to live like that? You know, I came to China, Wyatt, in 2012.
Yeah.
And it was under a different president named Hu Jintao.
Right.
What a great man. I mean, the country was really opening up, having a birth of freedom. And now they have Xi Jinping, who is a total dictator, had himself elected for life. And he's a terrible man. And he's destroying what could be a great and free nation.
Yeah.
So I still have a contract to complete there, and I'm teaching online to my students now.
Right.
And we actually start our classes tomorrow.
Yeah.
But if China says all clear, come back, I won't go back. Only when the CDC from America says it's okay to go to China will I return. I'm being paid at least because I'm working online. But I won't go back until it's all clear.
And just so you guys know, right now it is Saturday in America, and it is Sunday there, right?
It's Sunday morning here at 9:33 a.m.
All right, and it's 8:20 p.m. here Saturday night. So they're 14 hours ahead.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
that's why I'm here now, and I don't know how long I'll be here.
Yeah.
Who knows? So.
Yep. All right, so let's talk about your novels and your biography and number 8 and 9.
Well, my novels, I have my first novel was actually my master's thesis. I finished my doctorate in 2018, but in 2002 I was doing my master's, and I was studying basically creative writing and literature. And so I wrote a murder novel, which part of it I actually dreamed, to tell you the truth, and put it as my thesis for my master's degree. And then after I completed my master's with that novel, I rewrote it as a novel, really, and published it. It's called Stillborn. It's a murder novel about illegal adoption, using paid women to have children, and how having a set of twins caused a terrible situation. Then I wrote a trilogy called the Patriot Acts Trilogy, and it's very political. And the first part of that book is, excuse me, I have a bad it last night. I do not have the novel virus, though. I have an old virus. It's not a new one. But the first book of the trilogy is called Patriot Acts, and it's about nuclear war with Iran. Very powerful. Part 2 is about biological war.
So, guys.
And, part 3 is about.
I said, so, guys, we have a future. He predicts the future.
You know what I say? Welcome to the history of the future.
Yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen. And part 3 is actually about the fall of the whole political world system.
Yeah.
And called the Consortium. Part 2 is called the Second Republic. Part 3 is the Consortium.
And we have those books, don't we?
Nimrod.
We have the Nimrod Rising and...
Yeah, the ones you never read.
Yeah.
The ones that sit on your shelf that you never read, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to write books that nobody reads, yeah. So... I also wrote a book called Nimrod Rising, which is 600 pages, about the origin of evil. And it's about Satan, where he came from. It's a very powerful and very scary book, and many of my own experiences I put into the novel as fiction, but were real when I lived in Pakistan. So that's a powerful book. Then I have my biography, my memoirs, called The Most Intelligent of Idiots, which means, I know I'm smart, but even though I'm smart, I've done some stupid things in my life. So everybody, doesn't matter how smart we are, we still do stupid things. It's a pretty good book.
Yeah.
And the book I'm working on now the most is adding to my memoirs about China, and it's called China, the Land of Smoke and Mirrors, and about what I've lived in the past 9 years in China, and what I'm living right now with the coronavirus.
And you're coming back. You're coming back to the States this year, right?
Oh yeah, my contract finishes in July.
Yeah.
So I'll be back. I don't know where I'll work in America yet, but I'm looking for positions now. So I'm just basically getting my life back together and getting ready to settle back in America. I feel, Wyatt, if I stayed in China another year, after seeing what the Chinese government is doing to its people, that if I'm training little future communist children, that I'm becoming a participant in all that they're doing. I can no longer participate in that.
Right.
Time to get out. Time to go elsewhere. Because I refuse to be a participant in tyranny. I mean, until the last 2 years, really, China wasn't this way. It was much more, how can I say, democratic, open. This president came in, he seemed good, then he got himself elected for life, and now he's become a real tyrant, a real dictator. And so it's time for me to go. So I don't know, but in the future I'd like to be active again. As you know, just like you, I'm a huge Trump supporter. Yeah. And I believe in everything Trump is doing. Yeah. And I'd like to be involved to help my country find its constitutional base again. And that's my goals for the future.
Right. You want to talk about politics?
What's that?
Politics.
Well, like I was saying earlier, that I'm from South Bend area, and I actually in 1999 ran for mayor of South Bend for the Republican Party. I am actually not a Republican, and I'm like Bernie Sanders in one way. He's not a Democrat, but running as a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I ran as a Republican. I think when you look at both parties, if you really look at them profoundly and honestly, that there's not much difference between them. I do say that there are better people in the Republican Party, but they compromise as much as the Democrats do. In some ways, the Republicans are more dangerous than Democrats because they shroud everything in patriotic blather.
Yeah.
But the Democrats tell you, at least, I'm going to cut your throat.
Yeah.
So people who vote for Democrats are really suicidal.
So you're...
But I mean, I would run as a Republican.
Right.
Because they are better people. I mean, and Donald Trump is like me in that he's not really a Republican, but he needs a base on which to run and one that he can win from. and thank God he did win. So I don't know what I'll run for yet, but I can tell you this: if Pete Buttigieg, who is 38 years old and has no experience at running the city, I mean, and he's got really no educational background. I know he's a Rhodes Scholar, but he's, what has he done with it? I think I could run for president and win. If he can run for president, who knows what's going to happen in the future? But I'll start somewhere and I'll get involved. But first, I got to find me a good position, which I hope I can become a professor in a university, teaching history or political science, something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm working on that. But I definitely got the background for it, so I will be involved in politics again. Probably the first thing I want to run for in whatever state I settle in is I'd like to be involved as the state education superintendent. My whole background is in education. Everything I've done is in education. I've worked as a principal here, as an academic director, as a headmaster. So I mean, I would like to now help educate my own children in my own country and help them become greater citizens, and with a goal. I mean, look at what we got. We got so many young people calling for socialism now. Yeah. Why is that? They're calling for socialism because they've been brainwashed in it by their teachers. I mean, you've even told me how you've been treated by your teachers,
Yeah.
Told that you can't even stand up when they're doing the national anthem.
Yeah.
Or the Pledge of Allegiance. I mean, it's ridiculous. So that's got to stop,
Yeah.
And I think Trump has the right ideas about keeping education local and not indoctrinating our kids against the country, but helping our kids to love the country. The great mistake we've made in education, we haven't taught them about our history. And when we have, we made it America's a villain, not a hero. Come on. What has America done? Nothing but help the world. Can you imagine, Wyatt, the world without America? Can you imagine that? What would America be? What would the world be without America in it? I mean, we'd be one big China. And if Bernie Sanders wins the election, oh my God, you can kiss America goodbye. Because the Democrats, when they were trying to impeach Trump, they thought, we got to support the Constitution. But on a normal day, they hate the Constitution. They only use it when it befits them and benefits them.
Well, you saw
get rid of the Democrats.
You saw Nancy tear up the State of the Union speech.
Oh yeah, yeah. She was on a tear.
Yeah. What did you think of that?
I think she's a tore loser, not a sore loser, a tore loser. I think she's evil, and I think she probably is becoming senile. And I think she has no spine. She let people like AOC and these liberals in the new members, the little creeps that hate America, somehow snuck in like Trojan horse into the Congress. She let them control her, and out of fear of them, she's not a leader. She's a follower, and she's also a traitor to the nation. She prefers to have foreign illegals come in our country and get benefits that we can't get. She hates American citizens. Just look at her, at where she's from in California, in San Francisco area. There are people laying on the streets. It's a complete travesty. Homeless people, defecating on the street and living on the street. And even bubonic plague has been found in some areas of San Francisco now. That's what you get with the Democrats. I think about Bloomberg. He's running for president. He goes to California. He said, California is a great example of what we need for the whole nation. Like, what? Are you kidding me? You want to see that throughout the whole nation? Buttigieg, he wants to legalize all drugs. No more penalty for all drugs. Can you imagine what that will cause? These people want the nation to fall because they want to rebuild it into something it has never been and can never be allowed to be. That's why we have to support Donald Trump. Wyatt, we talk about Donald Trump's building the wall, and thank God for that. By the end of this year, he'll have 500 miles next year, 500 miles completed. But when you think about it, not only is he building a physical wall, brick and mortar and steel, he is a wall. Donald Trump is a wall. He's the one person, the one thing that's stopping America from total annihilation through socialism is Donald Trump. If we didn't have him as president, there's no future for the nation left. Nothing. We're gone. Can you tell me one Democrat, Wyatt, that you could feel comfortable to vote for? That when you go to sleep at night, you feel good about your country? Can you think of one Democrat? I mean, the only one that it's possible would be Tulsi Gabbard. But she's pro-abortion. But even she questions her own party. You know, and when they voted to impeach Trump, she didn't even vote. She didn't say no, but she said president, which means I'm not going to impeach the president. That's the only one, and they hate her. Democrats hate her. Even Hillary Clinton said she was a Russian spy. Everything's Russia, you know, Russia. The only thing that's going to be Russian is how fast we get rid of them. They're going to be rushing to get rid of Democrats on election day. But I just think that if we don't stand up, if we don't fight back, if we don't stand up for the president, America will be gone. Do you hear that, America? You better hear it. The only thing keeping us from becoming a socialist society where every little facet of your life is controlled, every bit, is Donald Trump. So, I'm a Trumper. I hope you'll be Trumpers too out there, and I know you are. And we need to stand up for him and keep America great.
All right. So, a hot topic is the Second Amendment and Virginia. You've heard about Virginia, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, what do you think about that?
Actually. Sorry for my coughing, guys. Well, I can tell you this. That day, you know, we had all these great Second Amendment people, true patriots in America. They all gathered together because they're trying to literally come to your house and take your gun. But of course, the police are not doing it for one reason. The police are patriots. And for another reason, they know it to be a war. So they had all these people converge on the state capitol, right, in Richmond. And they said, oh, this is going to be a terrible thing. People are going to die. People are going to go crazy. And they had the guns. But the police, even the governor, who's very anti-Second Amendment, said, oh, there was peace. Nobody fought. Everybody was gentle. And, you know, thousands of people, pro-gun rights people were there. And there was no garbage left on the road, on the ground. They picked up after themselves because they love their country. They love society as we are. Nothing took place, nothing. Because, you know, the only safe places to be is where there is a gun to protect you. The old adage stands true. Outlaw guns, and the only ones who will have guns are outlaws. Now, I don't have a gun now, but I used to. I used to be a correctional officer in Westfield Prison. And it's a medium security prison. And I had a gun. And one day I was going to work, you know, and it was cold. And I had my coat on over my uniform, and I had my private gun in my holster on my side, on my chest here. And one crazy guy came up to me and said, oh, he said, you know, give me $5 or I kill you. And I looked at him and said, you're going to kill me for $5? I'm only worth $5 to you. Why don't you say, give me $1,000 or $10,000 or I kill you? Then I would feel worth something. He looked at me and said, you're crazy, man. I said, you're right. I'm crazy. You don't know how crazy I am. I said, you can't kill me. He said, why? I opened my jacket. I took out my gun. I said, because I'd kill you first. Boom, he was gone. It works. It works. We need that gun. What about the church where they recently had a guy going there shooting people, and boom, he was dead. I saw a video in, where was that? Oh, in Brazil, the other day on YouTube, where they had a bunch of women and children, and the guy came up with a gun going to kill everybody. And there was an off-duty cop, took out her gun, shot him dead. Nobody died but him. That's what we need. I'm sorry, that's the society we have, and that's how we protect it. We need to have the Second Amendment. Whether they like it or not, it's in the Constitution, and it's there to stay. That's how I feel about it. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I've shot guns. I've shot shotguns, pistols. I mean, I've shot plenty of guns, and guns don't kill people. People kill people. And if you're really going to say that guns kill people and that people don't kill people, then maybe you should look where the facts are, because, like, you guys are they were attacking Trump when he took out the terrorist, but Trump didn't kill that terrorist. The missile killed the terrorist.
Yeah. And what about this, Wyatt? Think about it. If you're going to outlaw guns because people get killed by them, you know, in a bad way at times, what about those terrorists that use cars?
Right.
Run into big groups and kill people. You're going to outlaw cars?
Yeah.
That same car can take you to a party to have fun, can also be used by a terrorist to kill people, and has been done several times. That same gun that can protect life can be used by a bad person to kill people, of course. But you can't outlaw it because of a few, because no matter if we can get guns or not, they'll still get their guns. Anyway, it doesn't matter. For me, it's a moot point, because the Constitution gives us the right, and we will keep it. And I can truly tell you, if Donald Trump had been removed from office, there would have been a civil war in America. But the Democrats don't care. They want it. But if they take our guns away, there will be a civil war.
Yeah.
And the left should be careful. Because you know what they fail to realize? Is that we have all the guns.
Yeah.
So they should be careful. Because we will fight for our country. We will give our last full ounce of devotion to preserve our country. And if we don't, we're in trouble. Big trouble. So, Second Amendment stands. Yeah. I want to tell you also about, you know, what's happening with this guy, Roger Stone. Have you been studying that?
Who?
He was arrested. He worked with Trump, and he was one of Trump's allies. And, you know, what they did is they asked him all kinds of questions and mixed up his mind, and they said he lied to the FBI. He's 67, 68 years old, and he's an author, and he is a political savvy guy. But now they want to give him 10 years in prison for, you know, lying to the FBI. And now the Attorney General Barr is saying that's way out of order. He should maybe given a year, or maybe a suspended sentence, because the whole basis of that investigation was on a sham Mueller report. You know, it was the whole basis of the Mueller investigation was based on the Trump dossier, which had been proved to be a lie, paid for by the Democrats and Hillary Clinton.
Yep.
So I mean, there's no justice in the country. So now they want to impeach William Barr, the Attorney General, because he's doing his job. The Democrats don't realize nobody cares what they think anymore.
Right.
Nobody cares. We're sick to death of it. But the Democrat Party should be banned from the United States. They should be called enemy combatants, because every time they support our enemies over us. Donald Trump killed Soleimani. He killed al-Baghdadi. And they felt more sorry for Soleimani and al-Baghdadi than praising our president. Boy, if Obama had done that, it would have been praise. I didn't like Obama, but when he killed Osama bin Laden, I said, God bless you, Mr. President. Whatever, he's the president. So nobody cares what the Democrats think. We're going to kick their butts. We're going to make them sorry that they ever opposed us. And we're going to try our best to win the Democrats to our side. You know, one thing I want to say right here. I don't regard anybody who dislikes Donald Trump is not my enemy. Okay? Political hacks, like in the Democrats, those are enemies of the Republic. But Democrats who feel that they love the country, but they want to do it, save it, and make it grow in a different way, okay, I may not agree, but they are not my enemies. And I think many of these people who don't even like Donald Trump will still vote for him because the economy I'm sorry, guys. The economy is so good, and when you wake up in the morning, what do you prefer? To have a Democrat in the White House, or to have money in your pocket?
Money in my pocket.
Of course.
Um.
Sorry,
So
I got a bad cold, guy.
yeah,
I don't have the virus, I promise.
it's good. So do you know what the correct terminology for AR is?
AR.
Yeah.
Automatic rifle.
No. It's not automatic rifle and it's not assault rifle. It is Armalite rifle.
Is what?
It's Armalite rifle.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So when 90% of the Democrats don't actually know what the true definition of AR stands for, and they're coming for our quote-unquote assault rifles, that actually you have to pull the trigger every time to shoot. It is not a full auto gun.
That's true.
It's not a full auto gun. So they need to quit saying that it's an assault rifle and that you just pull the trigger and hold it and it shoots multiple bullets, because that's not what it is. It shoots one bullet every time you pull the trigger. So when they're saying we need to ban the assault rifles, that rifle is no more dangerous than a Glock or a pistol, because the pistol has the same firing mechanisms as an assault rifle. One just fires a bigger caliber.
You know, the thing is this. If we got rid of all those weapons because they're too lethal in their eyes, that's just step one. The next step will be to get rid of every other gun. And, you know, and like gun buybacks. And even another thing I want to say, these things called red flag laws. You know, nobody knows. I have an article I've written about red flag laws. Did you know red flag laws means that if you have a gun and your neighbor doesn't like you, they can report you, all right, to the police and say he's a dangerous man, he has a gun. The police can come with, if they have red flag laws, come to your house unannounced without a warrant and force you to give up your gun and arrest you. Then you go to a secret court under red flag laws, not the regular court. And the court decides when you get your gun back. And you have to go through psychology training and all these things that cost you so much money. And because red flag laws are just anti-gun laws. Now, Donald Trump for a while was talking about red flag laws. I wrote a letter to him, Mr. President. I know you support the right to own and bear arms. But if you support red flag laws, I will not vote for you again. Because they're just another way. Another thing for guns is when they put you on the no-fly list. You know, if anybody's on the no-fly list cannot buy a gun, they want to do that. Now think about it. They'll just put every gun owner on the no-fly list. And then they can't have a gun legally. So these things need to be prevented and not ever become law. And I noticed that Donald Trump, not because of my letter, of course, because of millions of letters, I'm sure, has backed away from red flag laws. They are dangerous and they are unconstitutional. Unconstitutional. To Democrats, that means nothing. But to me and you, it does.
Yeah.
You caught me on a bad day, man. I got a bad cold.
Yeah, it's okay. I wasn't feeling too well this morning. That's pretty much all, right?
Yeah. So let's pray for America. Let's fight for America. And let's vote for America and re-elect Donald Trump. Nothing else will do. You know, people say Donald Trump, I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the way he acts. You know what? I didn't vote for a pastor. I voted for a president. I want a president that says, you break my finger, I break your arm. You know, that's what we got.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I love him.
Yeah.
And he also, whatever he promises, that's what he does.
Yeah.
He keeps his promises. This man needs to be reelected. And I know he will be, because there's not one of these strange animals that are running for president in the Democratic Party that even can touch him. Look at the economy. The best unemployment numbers, the best growth in salaries. I mean, the security of the nation. He's killed 2 of the biggest terrorists just recently. Everything he said he would do, he's doing.
And
Think about it. He doesn't need to suffer for us.
right.
What he's gone through. But he did it. He can be back home putting his leg up on his golden table. You know? But he's sitting in the Oval Office going through hell for us because he loves us and he loves the American people and he loves the nation. So God bless Donald Trump.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And again, sorry for my coughing. I woke up this morning, my head was just full.
Yeah.
But, maybe my brain matter is leaking out. I don't know.
All right. All right. Well, we're gonna end the video here.
Take care, Wyatt.
All right. Bye.